Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa. For those of you guys who don't know me, I am a mom and a wife, and today's video is going to be all about my son's club foot journey. We just went to the doctor on Thursday and we got some unexpected news that I did not see coming. So this video is going to be all about that, and also I asked you guys to send me some questions for those of you guys who were interested and who want to know more about club feet, because it's not common. I'm going to be answering some of those questions as well. So if you guys want to learn more about club feet, then keep on watching. So for those of you guys who don't know, my son just turned 1 last month. So he is 13 months. And we first found out that he had clubfoot when I was 20 weeks pregnant. I have another video on my channel, I think it's called like 6 months update with James, where I talk about it briefly. I don't really go into that much detail of it, but I did talk about on how I found out and how he was doing. So when James was born, he was born at 39 weeks, so he was a week early. That's when we saw how severe his clubfoot actually was. It was pretty severe, and it was on both of his feet. So sometimes some babies are born with just having one club foot, but James had it on both of his feet. So right away, the doctor said, you know what, I'm going to put a referral for you. So next week, you could start taking him to an orthopedic specialist in Orange County. He's the best of the best. And, you know, I've referred some patients out there now and they're doing fine. So he went ahead and did that referral. So then when we first went to go see Dr. Weiner at the Children's Hospital of Orange County, and he himself actually had clubfoot as well as both of his grandchildren. So when we first went, he let us know all the details on what is club feet. You know, it's not hereditary, it is fixable, and he's gonna be able to walk. Like, that was my main thing that I wanted to know. I just wanted to know, was my baby gonna be able to walk? And yes, he is. It's just, you know, a matter of time and certain treatments that you have to go through. So he let us know that there is actually 2 ways on treating club feet. So back in the day, they didn't have the Ponseti method, which is what James is getting now, and they would just do straight surgery. But now, through the times has changed, Dr. Weiner studied on the Ponseti method, which is a series of castings as well as shoes with brackets on them. So right off the bat, that first appointment, James was 1 week old. He went into his first set of casts, and so the way they treat clubfoot, so clubfoot is when the feet are not like straight like that, they're inwards. So both of his feet were like touching his leg. So to get it straight, you know, to like a regular foot, they would have to stretch it. So we would literally go every single week, once a week, to get new casts on James's legs and to stretch him out. So we were going for about 3 months every single week for James' foot to be stretched and cast, stretched and cast, stretched and cast. So by the time James was 3 months, he got his last cast. So once James got his last cast off, then we transitioned him into the shoes, and he would wear the shoes all day, every day for 3 months, and he would only take them off for bath time. Then after those 3 months of wearing the shoes all day, every day for 23 hours a day, then we went on to only wearing the shoes at night. So by that time, James was already like 6 months. And it was crazy to see how the foot changed within those 6 months. Because I'm telling you, both of his feet were like touching his ankles. And it was just a series of stretching and casting and being able to, you know, keep the shoes on him. And the shoes there were 2 shoes that had a bracket in the middle. So it had buckles to make sure that the foot would not go out of place. So once James was 6 months old, he didn't have to wear the shoes anymore. And, you know, he was doing good. And I noticed a huge improvement, and I was super happy on the way his feet were looking. Fast forward to around 10, 11 months. That's when James started crawling, and I started noticing that his feet were kind of getting a little bit more inward, but not severely how they were when he was born. So he had an appointment scheduled in February, and obviously since this whole COVID-19 stuff is happening, they had to cancel it. So then they canceled it to March. And obviously since this stuff was still going on, then they canceled that appointment, and then they made me one for April, which was last Thursday. And they called me like 2 days before, and they're like, hey, you guys know that this is still going on. Like, we're just calling parents to let you guys know we're giving you guys a choice. Do you want to cancel the appointment, or do you guys want to come in, you know, to check things out? And I was like, you know what? James hasn't seen the doctor since November, and I've seen a difference on his feet. And I'm kind of worried about his right foot, because when he stands up and puts weight on it, it flips in. So he's not standing on his flat foot. So they're like, okay, like, yeah, no worries, come in, you know, and we'll make sure that that could be checked out. So I was kind of nervous, and I was honestly about to cancel it that same day, just because like everything that's happening now in the world. But, you know, they called me that same day, you know, to ask me COVID-19 questions. Like, so when we got there, we had like this rain protector thing for his car seat, well, for his stroller. And it's literally like, it covers the whole car seat. So James was looking like Bubble Boy, but he was safe. And then we see Dr. Weiner, and he was checking out his foot, and he's like, so like, I see in the notes here that you were kind of concerned about his feet. And I was like, yeah, you know, he's not walking, which is obviously I knew. So here's a little thing about babies with club feet. They don't start walking obviously at normal pace that regular babies do. Club feet babies start walking around 14 to 16 months. And so I let the doctor know that he's not standing on his own, but he's pulling himself up. But I noticed that when he stands, his right foot goes in. So he's not standing on his flat feet. He's standing like on his tippy toes. And he's like, okay, so let me take a look. So he was looking at James's foot, and he does this stretch where he gets the ankle and the heel, and he pulls it up to make sure that the ligament in the back where your heel is at is flexible enough to get your foot and pretend you're kicking something. So he was checking that out, and he's like, oh, you know what? You know, I've noticed that since the last time he was here, he had way more flexibility on his tendon in the back where his heel is at, but now he doesn't. Like, it's not as flexible as it was back in November. So we're going to have to put him casts again. And I was like, oh my God, in my head, I was so worried, because I didn't expect for James to get cast again. I thought that the whole casting thing was over and done with. But he was letting me know that, you know, this is nothing out of the ordinary. You know, it's just a reoccurrence that happens in some club feet babies. And I think he should get 3 more castings, and just to make sure that the foot is really stretched out, and then go back to the shoes, and he'll be good. And since he knows that we come from far, he's like, so can we do the castings today? And I was like, in my head, I wanted to be like, no, but obviously since we came from so far, I was like, yes, sure, do it. And since I'm home right now and I'm not working, it's the perfect time. So he went ahead and started stretching James's feet out. And so James isn't in pain. It's just an uncomfortable feeling, since James doesn't have the flexibility of a normal baby's foot. He's just feeling a lot of like stretching on that tendon in the back. So obviously he's like screaming, and he just does not want to be touched. He's not having it. So the way they do it, the doctor stretches out his foot and gets it into the position where it should be. Then his assistant or whatever keeps the foot in place while the doctor starts casting it. So they cast it, they wrap it about 3 times, then they put the, you know, the color thing on the cast of fiberglass, whatever. And James was not having it. He was kicking, screaming, crying, sweating, and I have to be holding him the whole time. So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to hold James, and I can't let him slip off my knee, and it's really hard. So then another nurse like passes by, and she's like, oh, like, can I give him this toy? And she like sanitized it and washed it and everything for me. And that kind of calmed him down a little bit. But the doctor was like, oh my gosh, he's so strong. Because James was just like kicking and kicking and kicking. So once the first leg was done, he let him chill for about like 10 minutes. Then he came in and stretched the other leg, which was the right one, which was more severe. And he stretched that out. He put the casts and he said, okay, come back in a week and a half and we'll do the second cast. So I was like, okay, cool. So I want to vlog the next time I go in, just to show you guys the procedure on how he stretches the leg and casts it. I don't know if they'll let me videotape it, but I'll try. But that's where we are now. I'm hoping that once, you know, the third cast is off, he could start walking, because like James was ready to walk, but he obviously couldn't because one of his legs just kept going in. So that's where we are now on his journey on club feet, and you know, we're taking it day by day. It's sad seeing him crawl in his class, but you know, this is all for him to be a strong boy, being able to run and walk. And like I said, we're just taking it a day at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and start answering some of the questions you guys asked. So I had a lot of people ask, can he crawl with them? And like I said, he can crawl with them, but the first time that I put him down, he was like not having it. Like he would just sit there and like he would try to like roll over and like crawl. But since the casts are so heavy, he like didn't know which way to maneuver. But I think he got the hang of it because he's like pretty good now. He's crawling all over the house. It's so funny because before, like, I wouldn't know or I wouldn't hear where he would be at, but now I hear him because I could hear like the cast like clanking on the floor. So he's good on that. I had another one of you guys ask me, how old will he be until he doesn't need casts? So this all depends on how severe the feet are. Some club feet babies only have it until they're 4 months, but some club feet babies have the reoccurrence, which James has, which is why he got it at 1. And some babies get castings, you know, if they don't see the progress. After that, then they're fine and they're able to walk. But obviously when they start walking, he still has to wear these little shoes. I don't have them now, but he has to get measurements the next time we go in to get new shoes, because the ones he has now don't fit him anymore. And the ones that he'll get are the ones that he'll start walking in, just to make sure that his feet doesn't do that reoccurrence again, or that muscle memory of trying to fold back in. And then I had another one of you guys ask me, do the casts bother him or are they just uncomfortable? So as of now, like, I don't see James being uncomfortable with the cast. The first night he was getting adjusted to him, he did wake up a couple times throughout the night to like try to move himself because he likes sleeping on his tummy, and obviously throughout the night he like rolls around and, you know, readjusts himself. I did notice the first night that he was having some trouble trying to like sleep on his side and stuff. He literally sleeps right here next to our bed, so I was able to help him and he was fine. Like, yesterday was the second night and he slept throughout the whole night. I just have to keep my eye on him more now, to see on like the things that he wants to do. So like if he wants to get up on the couch, like I have to pick him up, or if he wants to get off the couch, then I have to like put him down. And then we have to make sure as well that whenever we're picking him up, like we're just not picking him up like this. Like we have to pick him up like scooping him, because like I said, the casts are so heavy. So if you just pick him up like this, his legs are dangling. So that's like, the casts are 3 pounds each. So imagine just 6 pounds just like hanging on his poor little legs. So we have to make sure to like scoop him and, you know, hold him like a baby. For us, the most challenging thing would be bathing him. So when he was a newborn, it was obviously easy because he was tinier. So we would just like hold up his legs and I would just like sponge bath like his head and run some water on his body. But now that he's freaking huge, James is 33 inches. So he's very long. So we took him a bath this morning and Jordan like had to carry him, but like James wasn't having it. So he was like moving around and it was just a whole thing. I had to wipe down all the floors because there was water everywhere. So that's like a work in progress that we gotta find a better way on taking him a bath, but you know, we'll figure it out. Like he was trying to hold James like this over the sink, and I was trying to like put water on his head, but then like water was getting in his ears. So then like Jordan tried like flipping him the other way, but then it was just a whole thing on that. So that's one of the most difficult things for us. Like I said, for James, the most difficult thing for him is just like not being able to pull himself up anymore. And then also James is not on a high chair anymore. We actually sit him on a booster now on like our regular chairs in our dining room. Jordan put a piece of cardboard so when James' feet dangle, it's not just like hanging freely. So they're like laid on top of the cardboard. So that helps him. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys James and show you guys how his casts look. This is how they look. These are the casts. I wanted them both green, but when they did the first green one, they're like, oh, we ran out of green, so what other color? So I'm like, all right, just do them yellow. So he's my lemon and lime baby. So this is how they look. They're like super hard. They go all around. As you can see, like I said, I have my socks on him because his feet get cold. His little toes. They're super heavy. Like, he's hella heavy. He's normally 24 pounds, but with the casts on, he weighs like an extra 6 pounds. And he's not having it, so I'm gonna let him go crawl over there with his daddy, and I'll be back. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys found this video helpful. For those of you guys who are watching who have club feet babies, please leave a comment down below or follow me on my Instagram and connect with me. I would love to get to know you. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.